You're listening to the Infinite Banking Mastery Podcast. Did you know that you could build a tax-free pool of wealth that's liquid and accessible all your life while building your retirement nest egg? Gain full control of your financial future and stop relying on the government and banks. The wealthy have already discovered this wealth-building secret. Now it's your turn to get financially secure without following the conventional wisdom that keeps you in debt to banks. Now here's your host, Valerie LaRocque.
Hello and welcome back to Infinite Banking Mastery. Today, I wanted to go over a quiz I gave a group of my favorite business owners that I get to see every week for lunch. After doing that presentation, I thought it would be a good idea to go over those same questions that I went over with them with you, because the information and this topic are so important. The topic we're going to cover today is one that many people have a lot of assumptions about, and oftentimes those assumptions are wrong. The topic is long-term disability insurance. And I know some of you might be thinking, Valerie, that sounds boring. But here's what I'd say, that it's only boring until you need it. And by then it will be way less boring, and it will also be way too late. Okay, let's get into the first question. First question I asked them was, simple one, right? What is long-term disability insurance designed to do? Pay your medical bills if you get hurt, replace a portion of your income if you can't work due to illness or injury, cover employees if they get injured on the job, pay a lump sum if you were to become permanently disabled? Well, the answer is long-term disability is designed to replace a portion of your income if you can't work due to illness or injury. That's it. It is not health insurance, it is not workers' comp, and it does not have a lump sum death-style benefit. The way to think of it is as a paycheck when you can no longer earn one. And for most of us, our income is the engine that runs everything else in our financial lives. Without it, everything stops. It's at the very foundation of everything. Without income, you can lose your home, your car, the mounting medical bills that you most definitely have now because you are disabled. They'll be harder and harder to pay. This is the number one cause of bankruptcy in America, is disability and the mounting medical bills. Aside from time, being able to earn an income is your greatest asset. If you lose the ability to work, you will definitely have to look to savings and retirement assets to get you through. And for most people, those savings dollars are not sufficient. But think about this too. During a disability, you will have those mounting medical bills. You'll be trying to cover your day-to-day living expenses for you and your family. And you'll have a new and very expensive higher medical insurance payment, COBRA. Because once you have to stop working, if you're receiving health insurance from your job, they will offer you COBRA, which is a very high payment. You'll likely be spending down your retirement savings. So during that tragic time period, you certainly won't be building your retirement assets. You may be in your late 40s, having to drain down all of your savings just to get by. And then thankfully, you get better, you get your health back, all is right with the world again. But now you have to save for your retirement again from scratch. You've lost the momentum of your dollars compounding for all those years. So much stress and financial burden can be relieved by just having a long-term disability policy in place, of which I have 4. As my income has increased over time, my need for coverage grew, and so I addressed that by stacking on additional disability policies. So the next question I asked my group was, what is the most common cause of long-term disability claims? Car accidents, workplace injuries, illness, or sports injuries? Those were the options I gave. And the answer is illness. People often think it's injury, getting into a car accident or some other major injury. This one surprises most people, I would say. When we picture disability, we tend to picture something dramatic, a car accident, a fall, something sudden and visible. But the reality is that illness drives the overwhelming majority of long-term disability claims. Cancer, heart disease, back problems, mental health conditions. These are the things that quietly sideline people for months and sometimes years. So if you've been thinking, I'm not in a dangerous job, I don't take a lot of risks, It will never happen to me. I probably don't need to worry about this. I really want you to reconsider that because the risk isn't coming from where you think it is. And here's a good one that I've mentioned before, actually. Next question. What are the odds that a 35-year-old will suffer a disability lasting 90 days or more before they retire? Do you think it would be 1 in 100, 1 in 20? How about 1 in 10? Nope, it's 1 in 4. That is crazy, isn't it? 1 in 4 workers will experience a disabling event before they reach retirement age. I mean, just let that sink in. If you are sitting in a room with 4 people, yourself and 3 others, statistically, one of you will face a disability lasting at least 90 days before you retire. That is not a rare scenario. That is a very real probability that most people are completely unprepared for. And yet, most people spend more time insuring their car than they do protecting their income. That's a pretty significant mismatch. Your ability to earn an income is so much more important. But people just don't think about that. They don't think about protecting their income. They think about protecting their car because that's a requirement to drive. I need to have car insurance in case I hit someone or somebody hits me. But the majority easily overlooks, what happens if I can't work? What happens if I have no income tomorrow from being too sick or hurt? Okay, next question. How long does the average long-term disability claim last? Do you think it would be 3 months, a year, 2.5 years, or maybe the rest of your life? The answer is the average long-term disability claim lasts approximately 2.5 to 3 years. Now, I want you to do some quick math in your head. Take your monthly income, whatever you bring home, and multiply it by 30. That's roughly what 2.5 years of income represents. For most people, that number is somewhere between 1 and 300,000 or more. That is the financial exposure sitting on the table right now if you don't have a plan. And for business owners specifically, it's often even more because when you're out, the business may be out too. Next question. Does workers' compensation cover you if you become disabled due to illness? And the answer is no. Workers' comp only covers on-the-job injuries. Workers' compensation is strictly limited to injuries and illnesses that occur as a direct result of your job. Slip and fall at the office? Potentially covered. Cancer diagnosis? Not covered. Heart attack at home on a Sunday? Not covered. Car accident on your day off? Not covered. And here's something that's particularly important if you're a business owner in Washington state. Business owners are not required to cover themselves under workers' comp at all. You can opt in voluntarily, but most don't. You should look into that for yourself if you're a business owner in Washington. And even if you do have the coverage, it only covers work-related incidents. Therefore, individual coverage, personal coverage, is of the utmost importance. So if the most common cause of disability is illness and workers' comp doesn't cover illness, well, you can see the gap. Well, I still have a decent amount of questions to go through that I asked this group of business owners. So I'm going to continue with these questions in the next podcast episode. In the meantime, if you're concerned about your vulnerability to a disability, which again is not just injury, but any kind of sickness that would cause you to be unable to work, and you would like to look into this for yourself or you and your spouse, feel free to reach out. You can reach me at valerie@alphaomegawealth.com. I look forward to sharing with you again next week. Have a great one.
This is thepodcastfactory.com.